Hey everybody, just getting set up. I hope all of you are well. I am still trying to get through COVID. Yay. Let me make sure the sound on this is turned down. My daughter's been using it. There we go. So here we are. I'll just wait a couple minutes, see if anybody shows up. Get a drink of water. Hey Nicole, how are you? So today has been a very exciting day, sort of. So we're gonna go ahead and color this little guy. Hi Susan. Hi Esmeralda. And this little guy is James on a Fence. Hi, Debbie. Oh my God, I could kiss you for helping me today. And I'm still trying to get the whole thing fixed. So, thank you so much for that. You just don't even know. So, this is James on a Fence. This was supposed to be a birthday card for my husband, but because the way COVID has been going, yeah, I did not get around to finishing it at all. It took the rest of my energy just to color it. So, hey Laura, your little isn't feeling well. That's no fun. I'm so sorry. I hope they get better soon, because it's no fun. I don't care what age you are. Being sick just stinks. So let's see, I'm going to straighten this out a little bit on my desk, just because I can't color very well when it curves up. So I'm just going to start with the longest part. Hey Paula. So my husband is originally from Washington State, and up there it's very wet, like really wet. My son calls it Noah's Ark. So let me zoom in a little bit. So down here I went ahead and made the fence, because the fence is up there. I don't know where you guys live, but the fences up there get real green on the bottom because of moss, or, you know, whatever makes the wood turn green, but it's terrible. So I did that on this fence for him. So that is something, if you want to put it, you can put it. If you don't want to put it, you don't have to at all. But I did get started on that part first, just because I figured it would be the easiest part, because it is the biggest part. So I'm going to start off with E31, E33, E35, E37, and E59. Let's see. So I'm actually going to start with E35, and I'm just going to get all the lines and start to build on my shadows. So when I say lines, I'm like the little outline bits, and just going around. See, I like that the artist for this stamp, which is Lily of the Valley, you can find them on Etsy. The link is up in the description above. If you didn't get your stamp to color along with us today, it's up there. But I love how she puts the knots in the wood, these, so that I don't have to try and make all the lines and the knots for myself, because I am just not good at that at all. So we are going to have a little bit, let's see, I'm just going to have the light coming this way because he's facing this way. So I'm going to have the light coming this way. I'm not going to have the light over this side, So I'm not going to have any shadow there on this gift, but I will over here. Hey, Jackie, let me see if I can zoom in a little bit more. It's so different on my tablet compared to my phone. My phone, I see this part right here. That's all I see. I don't see his head. I don't see anything. So I always think I'm zoomed in too far. But on my tablet, I'm still like way far away. It's crazy. Let me see. Go in a little bit more. There we go. Okay. So go ahead, and I'm putting shadow on just one side, not the other side, just because we're only gonna have shading on one side. And I'm still getting the lines for the wood. Now we will go over the shading with the darker colors as well. This is just kind of mapping out the shading and where I want it to go so that I don't forget about it. Because you guys know me, I will totally forget. You know that. So I'm just putting like a thin line here at the bottom of the banner, because you know that way it'll look like it's kind of floofing out a little bit. Whoops. Oh good, it looks like I got in a little bit further. Put some lines. We're not gonna have shading here at the front of his paw, but we will here at the back of his paw, okay? And we're just coming down. Now there will be a little bit of shading on his face. And like right here, because his face is in like the direct line of the sun. And then his paw is going to be blocking that sun a little bit. So I'm going to put just a thin line. And then I'm just going to put a thin line right on these corners because it'll look like it's kind of billowing out. And I'm going down these lines and the little knot that I love so much. And then this will have shading on that side of his arm. And then we're going to have shading here all the way across the top of the banner. And then just some more. Now right here, it looks like that's his body. I thought at first it was his body. I could be wrong. And it not be balloons, but I swore when I very first started coloring this, I thought that was part of his body, but it's actually balloons. So I'm actually going to do see-through balloons, but I'm not going to use the 35 for that. I'm actually going to start that out with the E33. So I'm just going to go and I'm going to color right across there. Okay. So now I'm just going to go down the lines some more and kind of draw that color out a bit. And I'm not going directly on the line. That one I kind of went beside it. I'm just going across here, and then I'm going to go on the lines a little bit more. I'm just kind of pulling that color out a bit. And then I'm going to come up from the bottom because we'll have a bit of shading from the grass. And I noticed today, oh my gosh, I noticed today I didn't even finish the grass on here. So that's why there's no grass colors, because I apparently did not finish it. So just getting those lines, getting the shading pulled out a little bit. So how have you guys been doing over the 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 3 weeks? I can't even remember anymore. Time has just blended together that I've been gone. Have you guys been coloring? Anybody, anything? Oh, you know what? I didn't even finish these lines here, but that's okay. I can finish them with the 33. Just put that in there. Bring that down just a little. Because you know his face isn't right sitting on the fence, so there's going to be a little bit of shade right there. Okay. So I've got all my lines now, and since this is the color, I'm trying to pull it out, so I'm going to go ahead and put some coming down here. And yes, go in the balloon because you're going to make a translucent balloon, so you'll be able to see that through there. You did some gnomes, Debbie. You'll have to post them for us. Not much coloring. 11 more working days, Paula. Wow, you're almost a retired woman. You can spend the whole day playing with that little baby boy, grandson of yours, and coloring. How awesome. Let's see, get over here. So now I'm going to go ahead and go with my E31. And I'm just going to gently pull these colors down and out. And I'm just going to pretty much just finish it off with the E31. Try to blend it as much as I can without over blending. I may have to use my 34 for that, not quite sure. Hey Cindy, how are you? Let's see, just finishing up over here. Now over here there's a little bit of a fence because there's like this line right here. So I will probably, I just went, if you can see, I just went over it right here. I don't know why it looks like I used 34 in that, and I didn't remember using my 34. Meadow was coloring with me that day though. She could have taken off, because I usually when I color I leave my pens just laying about on the table so I can write them down when I'm done. So I wonder if, because she was coloring bunnies that day, so I wonder if she took off with my 34 and I didn't write it down. Not quite sure. Because this doesn't seem to be blending quite as nicely as the other did, the other image. I almost decided to use different colors on this one though, so that I could use one for my son, because his birthday is next month. And he will be 15. Right, Paula? I do gotta watch her. Especially now that I have this new container where I just, when me and her are coloring together, I just go ahead and put it on the table between us so that she can reach the colors. So every 2 seconds I'm not turning around giving her colors. And yeah, there were some colors she took off with. Let me see if 34 makes a little bit. Oh, yep, look at that. That little chickadee. Because now look at, it's blending just like this one. That little turkey birdie. So E34, and you can go over it with your 31 and then try to blend it down again. Making Valentines for friends and family. Oh, how fun, Michelle. That's awesome. If you took pictures, you should post them so we can see. Give us some inspiration. I have not even, oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I have not yet even thought about Valentine's Day. Oh my gosh, thank you for the reminder, Michelle. I had nobody, oh, that's another thing I should tell him, huh, Debbie? Don't go to my website right now. Do not send people there. I had a hacker from China decide to make everybody go to a diet pill website instead of my own website today. So I've been working most of the day on trying to fix my blog, my website, so please don't send anybody there. Don't go anywhere there. I will post in the group when it's all fixed if y'all want to go to my blog for anything, but honestly, there has not been, I've been so sick, there has not been anything posted on there since I got sick. At all. My poor website, my poor blog has been, and my design teams have been neglected completely. So I'm just going over this with my, just spreading it out with my E31 now. So I'm going to put those aside for just a second. And I'm going to go ahead and use my YG95, and I'm just going to come up a little bit from the bottom. And I'm just laying down that darkest green a little bit. Who's feeling better, Paula? So there's that one. And then I've got YG93. And I'm just pulling that up even further. And I've just got real fat flicks, and I am just flicking up just kind of randomly, because you know how moss grows on stuff. Okay. And then I'm going to use YG91 just to smooth it out a little bit. There we go. So now we've got the mossy fence on the bottom. And then let's see. Between the presents and behind his arm, I really wanted it to really make the presents stand out. So it looked like they were standing away from the fence. Same with his arm. So I first tried E37 and then I tried E59. But this time I think I'm going to try the E59 first and see if that is just to my liking of how I want it to be. So I am putting 59 on this side because this part of the fence is getting zero sun. Like absolutely no sun whatsoever. And then I'm just going to put a thin line of it here on this bow and over here. And then I'll put it kind of over here as well. There we go. So I'm also going to put a thin line of it here because we know this banner is not going to be real thick or anything. And then we'll put some here because I really want stuff to look like it's away from, like, not plastered up against the fence, you know? And we'll put some right here and right here. So that way it looks like he's, you know, he's going over the fence, but he's not quite right on the fence. And then we'll put some down here at the bottom. Whoops, not in the banner, Christina. There we go. And just put a little right here. And a little right there. Okay. So I think I am going to still use the E37 just to kind of blend this out a little bit. You know me and harsh lines, I'm not super huge fan. Here we go. Plus it just makes the shadow a little bit more believable if it's just kind of blended out instead of just bam right there. So let's see, we'll do a little right here. There we go. Okay, so now we will go ahead and go with the, let's see what markers. We'll go with the bear because I have the markers right here. So we've got E42, E41, E43, and E44 for the little bear. And I did him pretty much the same way that I did the fence because he's got a lot of little tufts and things like that. So I wanted to get those colored first. So I'm going to start with E43 and I'm just going to do his little tufts of hair after I take a drink of water. That is one thing that is definitely lingering, is feeling like I am dying of thirst. Okay. Let's see, and I'm just gonna go ahead and, like I said, just get all these little tufts, but I'm also going to kind of bring the color out a little bit as well, especially on this side that's not gonna have any light. And I'm just doing the little tufts and his little ear. Now his little ear, if you want to, when we're all done and he's all colored in, you can go back and do like a pink or something. I just didn't because it was supposed to be for my husband. So, and my husband is such a good sport because most people will be like, that's kind of like a little boy card. And I'm like, yeah, but my son is kind of like, or my husband is kind of like my son too, because he still acts like he's 12 sometimes. So my husband's a pretty good sport in knowing that I make him little boy cards still, and he knows why. I mean, him and my son, Steven, oh my gosh, Steven's going to be 15 next month, you guys. Both of them sit there and laugh at poop jokes, like all the time, like all the time. So I'm going to go ahead and put a little bit of shading over here, just a little bit more. And I'm going to put some on the back side of his arm. Here, and then I'm going to get into his face. Now that I have all the little tufts done, but I want his face to have a little more shading on this side because that's where the sun's not going to hit. And I also got the bottom half of his ear And then I just put some right here because his head, it looks like his head is kind of laying on his hand as he's going over the fence. So now I'm going to use E42 and I'm going to pull that E43 out on this side of his arm, and I'm just using little fat strokes. And I'm just going right on over, getting that out there so that he has that shadow. And then pulling the shadow out right here. And then I'm going to give him a little bit of color right here so that his ear will look like it's behind his face. And then I will go ahead and go over this part on his face and kind of go over here. And I'm going to finish all this out with E41, and then I will go back with my E44, which is going to be my high contrast color. So just filling this in. And if you wanted to with this, you could always color the bear first and then use the technique, you color him in first, just like we are now, and then use like a towel, like, you know, like a bath towel or a hand rag or whatever, with some clear Copic solution of the blending solution, and make him fuzzy that way too. And if you haven't seen that video, let me know and I will bump it up to the top of the timeline so that you guys can see on, you know, not on this particular bear, but I have used that technique on stuff. So now I'm just going to go over his tufts again with the E44. Here we go. And I'm going to get in his ear a wee bit. Pull that out. One thing I like about the little tufts of hair kind of flying out from his arm and stuff is that it gives the illusion that he's fuzzy. So I am going in just a little bit on his arm, and I will on his face, and I will go back with the E33 because we need that shadow from the sun. Go a little bit on the outside of his ear, and I'll go right here too. Just a little. And then get these little tufts here. There we go. You know, it's funny, every time I say, oh, there we go, we're all done. Yeah, nope, I see more that I didn't get. He's got so many little tufts of hair. There we go. I swear, there we go. I think I got them all. So now for the places that I came in a little bit on his face, his arm, and his hand, I'm just going to come in with the E43 again, just a little. And I'm just going to blend that out a bit. And then I'm going to do the same. I'm going to skip the 42 and I'm going to go to the 41 and just blend it out. Because that still gives that nice crisp shadow without it being too overbearing. And we have our wee bear. Isn't he cute? I think he came out better this time than he did the last time. Love it how things come out differently even though you do it all the same. So his banner, I I only used 2 colors because, to be honest, I did that last and I was really getting tired. So I just went ahead and I used the Y21, and I came in from the sides. I did the top, and then I just slightly came in from the sides, and I'm using Y21 and YR30. And I just made some lines ever so often to come out like a little fold or a wrinkle. Let's see, where did I put those lines? So, and some came out long, some came out short. And then between there. And then I came over from this side. I didn't even worry about the little nails that are in here. I just went right over the top of them because we're going to go over those with like an N5 so that we don't have to worry about a lighter color. And just kind of, if you want, just kind of make it curvy so it looks like he's really pulling it up. And then I brought these lines out just a little bit more. So it looked like he was really grabbing a hold. And then with the YR30, I just finished it off. Because YR30 it'll pretty much blend out the YR or the Y21. Because it's got that 0 at the end. So I had to be careful with what I was doing. So here we go. So that's all blended out. If you want to go back in and get really get in with the lines part, so it looks like he's grabbing it and giving it some more detail, you're more than welcome. Can even just kind of make some extra lines here to really highlight those lines if you want. However you want to make it look. You can even pick different colors. And then, like I said, go back in with, I'm going to go in with the N5 and just dot the tops of those nails. So now for the balloons, I'm going to do the green balloon first. And I believe, pretty sure I use these 3, Y21, YG21, YG23, and 25. I am going to start with 25 first. And I'm just going to do the dark part right here next to his fur. But I'm actually going to use the YG23, and I'm going to pull it down from this line here. That way you can still see it behind the balloon and it's not too bad. And then I'm going to use YG21 to finish it out. And then we're going to go to the orange balloon. Now with the translucent balloons, the best thing to do is to start from the back and work yourself forward. That way it looks like whatever is in the front is the top layer of the color. So I'm going to start with the YR18, which is a really dark color. So there isn't going to be much here. I'm just going to put a little bit there and a little bit right here. And don't ask me why. It was just something that I decided I wanted to do when I made the other balloon. So now I'm going to go ahead and finish out this balloon circle with, or I'm not going to finish it out, but I'm going to continue the line with the YR15 and go ahead and pull this over a bit. And then I'm going to finish it out with the YR12. So the blue balloon is B21, B23, yep, B23, B24, and B26. And hi Priscilla, after looking at this color right here, for some reason, is just really standing out to me. So I think to be a little bit different, so they're not exactly the same, I'm going to go ahead and use B05, B02, and B00. It'll be almost, well, no, because I already told you I was using that color, so I'm just going to go ahead and use these. So these ones, so I'm going to start with the B24. And I'm not quite sure why there's lines right here at all. So I just kind of tried to follow them a little bit for my little shadow pieces. And then I'm going to put one on this side. And I'm going to go ahead and color the little bottom part in. And then I'm going to go ahead and go with B23 and color this in just a little. Try to keep it look like it's a rounded shape. And then I'm just going to finish it out with the B21. Here we go. And I'm not going any particular direction. As you can see, I'm just kind of making curvy lines to make it look like it's round. And that everything is blending properly. And then, whoops, wrong end. And then I'm going to go over what I did here with B26. Make those lines kind of stand out. And one thing with this B21 is it will change color and it will look better once it's dry. Because it looked like this and then it finally smoothed out after it was dry. So this gift right here is the blue, yellow, and the orange. So I'm actually going to start out with the yellow. And the yellow's pretty easy. You'll use more of the yellow on the lid than you will the stars. But I started out with Y08. And I just put, because we're going to have a little bit of shading from the bow and stuff like that. Plus, I didn't really go with the shading on the gifts. I just kind of, I did a little bit, but not really. And then Y06 is just going to finish out those stars because there's only, there's only so much room. And then Y04 is going to finish out the lid. And then we've got the orange. For the bow, we've got YR18. I went ahead and just put lines there and had a line coming up and a line coming down. to show that the bow is kind of flopsy. And I put a line up and a little line down for that one too. And then wire 15. Here we go. And I hope you can't hear the kids outside fighting, not farting, fighting. My goodness, I cannot speak today at all. There we go. Didn't finish it out. I'm going to finish it out with the YR12. Here we go. There. Okay, so now going back to the blue, I'm going to use B24. And I'm just going to get these areas underneath the lid and then like right next to the grass. And then I'm going to finish it out with B21. And then if you want to go back in with B26 and really define those shadows, you can do that too, just like right here, right here. Whoops, ooh, I just totally just inked myself. And then this one is actually these blues, the B05, B02, and B00. This one was listed as BG01, but that's another marker that Meadow had switched with me. So, sorry, but we're using B00, and I actually wrote down BG01. But if you don't have it, the BG01 will work perfect too. Don't even worry about it. So this is for the little circles, the ribbon, and the lid. So I'm going to do this ribbon exactly how I did the last one. So, and then I'm going to put a little bit in there because there's no light coming from that side. So that side's going to be darker. And then I'm going to use B02 to finish this side out, except for just a tiny bit at the top. And then I'm going to pull this out just a little bit. And then pull this up. So I'm also going to start with the circles. So, and then this is B00. See, it is a little lighter. But see, if you use, let me grab it. Where is it? Here it is. If you do use the BG01, whoops, it's a little darker. And so, I mean, you can still use it. It still looks nice. It's just a little darker. But it works. Mine's really juicy. Holy mac and cheese. That was just flowing out of there. So now the last one is the YG 25, 23, and 21. We're going back to our green that we used for the balloon. And we're actually, it looks like there's like a little note tag right here. Or maybe that's, no, that's a note tag. I thought it was the fence last time, but now I see that it's in front of the bow. Isn't it funny how you can color something and then the following time you'll be like, oh, that's not what I thought that was. So just getting the bottom, because the grass is going to cover that part up. And then YG23, because this gift isn't going to get a lot. If this one is sitting in front, it's not going to get a whole lot of light. And then YG21. And I'm just blending it in there. And I'm actually blending in, not out. There we go. The only thing we have left is the grass, and I didn't put any grass colors, so I'm just going to use the colors that we have, because they are, besides G24 and G28, are about the only other grass colors that I use. And for those, I just flick up, which for this one, since the fence is pretty mossy, it may need a darker, plus with the present being green. So I'll go ahead and do G24. Let's see if that will show at all. Not really. Not making an impact there, hardly at all. But at least it's green right there. Let's try the G28. Yeah, that one you can definitely. Okay, so G28 seems to be our winner. See, even if you don't have a color that you're really like super happy about, it doesn't matter. If you're going lighter to darker when you're testing colors, you can always test on the side, but I mean, just keep going, try it out, see how it works out. Okay, and it looks like I got a color there, but that's okay, because I will cover that up with something. So we are all done. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you guys will color one and let me know how everything worked out for you. I'm trying to figure out where that came from. But okay, I will see you guys next Tuesday. I will try to color this week to see what we're going to color. I do also have these ones. These are the 3 birthday bunnies, and then this cute little telephone bear. So if you guys would like me to color either of those, just let me know. If no one says anything, I'll try to come up with something. Okay? I will see you guys next week. Thank you everybody for joining me, and I will talk to you later. Bye.